Good morning, everyone. Phi Farley here. It is March 28th. We have a sports bettor's dream day. We got baseball pitching opening day. We got NCAA basketball, Sweet 16 starting. Then we got NBA down the stretch for the playoffs, making playoff runs. Holy cow, we got a lot of work to do as when it comes to capping. Today I got the NCAA basketball best bet, but I'm going to be honest, this is not my best bet. It's my best Sweet 16 bet for games on Thursday. And the reason why I did that is, frankly, I think people want to know what the best game is today on the Sweet 16, and not really what the best game is over in the CBI. That said, a game bet in the CBI tournament pays out the same amount that a NCAA March Madness bracket tournament game does. So I'm not afraid to go there. And that play will be over on patreon.com/Phi Farley. That said, I still like this play just as much, or maybe a little less, but still like this play as well going into this game. Now, one thing that's really interesting, I want to talk about this real quick before I get into the play, is that when you started your bracket, for those of you who do fill out a bracket, if you look at the betting percentages and the percentages of teams, top teams making it on to the second, third, fourth, fifth round, and how the seeds play into which round they go into, often people talk about the underdogs. You know, which 12 seed is going to beat a 5, which, 11, 10, 9 are going to move on, the 9s over the 8s. But what happens is those teams may get a win, maybe an anomaly where they win one round, but they're not winning 2 rounds. And if they win 2 rounds, the rare time they do, they don't win 3 rounds. And check it out this year. According to KenPom, of the 16 teams left, the top 14 teams are still playing. 1 through 14 are the 14 of the 16 teams still playing. Then 19 LSU and 28 Oregon are still in the tournament. But really, the best teams are still going, according to KenPom, which is not biased. According to the numbers, you got the top 14 of the top 16 teams playing right now. So, that speaks to the future on how to fill out your bracket. You can take an upset in the first round. Don't take it more than 1 round if you want to find yourself at the top by the end of it. So, all right, now let's talk about, real quick, if you haven't subscribed, take a second to do so. Baseball picks around the corner. NBA, I mentioned. NCAA basketball. Go on to patreon.com/Phi Farley. Check out my other plays. And don't forget to watch the other videos here on YouTube to get my daily best bet. Okay, so today, Sweet 16, we got Florida State, Gonzaga playing down in Anaheim. Florida State beat Gonzaga last year in the Sweet 16 by 15 points. This is a rematch. Gonzaga, of course, 8-point favorites in this one. Be real interesting because Florida State's getting a lot of money on their side right now. It's moved the line down from 9 to 8. It'll be interesting as how this one shakes out. Now we got Purdue, Tennessee playing in Louisville. Purdue, boy, 2 heavyweights duking it out. Between that game and the Texas Tech-Michigan game, those are the 2 closest games and the 2 best games. And that's what the line says as well. Tennessee favored by 2 at this point. Michigan favored by 1.5. That's going to be a defensive battle. If you like defense, Texas Tech-Michigan is where it's at. Total at 125. All right. Here's where my best bet is for the day. Oregon, Virginia. Now, I just mentioned the anomalies and how they can be a little misleading coming into this game. Virginia, according to KenPom, number 1 overall team, 34.7 points better than the average team. Oregon, the number 28 team, they're the last straggling team outside of the block of teams at the top. They're 17.5 points better than the average team. Now, I know what the perception is. I know that they won 8 straight coming into the tournament. In fact, I backed them several times coming into the tournament and won some money on them. They beat Wisconsin. They beat them handily. Then they got UC Irvine, which is a little bit of a layup. UC Irvine is the number 75 ranked team. And they're a good team. I like their guard play. But Oregon was able to beat them as they should have, and they beat them handily coming into this one. So the perception is Oregon is the hottest team. Oregon can blow any team out. Oregon's playing great defense. Oregon has a lot going for them right now coming into this one. And Oregon is getting 8.5 points. Well, that doesn't tend to be the case when we get to this point and teams are getting settled in. Virginia has made a habit of beating great teams by 10 plus points. I mean, let's not forget that there was a time this season where they destroyed Marshall by 36, and then they beat Florida State by 13. Then they go to Boston College and win by another 27. They go to Clemson, win by another 20. Then they beat Virginia Tech by 22. I mean, just back to back to back to back double-digit wins all the way down. They've lost to two teams all year round, and one is named Duke, who's the overall, in my opinion, the best team in college basketball. So I think we have a little bit of a difference between the perception and the reality, which is perception is that Oregon is worthy to be in this company, and they kind of are. They had a good game against Wisconsin, of which Wisconsin shot twice as many threes and made less threes than Oregon did, versus reality, which is that Virginia is a powerhouse and Oregon is not good on the road, traveling across the country. They're going to play in Virginia's, kind of their backyard, not too far away. And Virginia, if you look at how they played against Oklahoma, here's another fun fact. Guy was 0 for 10 at 3 points. They shot 29.2% from three-point land. They still won by double digits against Oklahoma because they played through their defense. So I think this is going to be stifling defense by Virginia. Oregon's going to struggle, and we're going to see Virginia win this one by double digits. One other fun fact I want to point to, a statistic. It's not a fun fact. It's a stat here that number one seeds, when are getting less than 40% of the tickets coming into the game, are 9-2 against the spread. And now let that sink in real quick. Number one seeds, when they're getting less than 40%. Right now, Virginia is getting 38% of the tickets. So Oregon is getting 62% of the tickets on their side. The line has went up for Virginia from 7 to 8.5. And that covers 9 out of the 11 times that's happened since 2005. Interesting. That's over on Twitter. I retweeted that one. Interesting number. But the reality is that people underestimate. There's a reason why Virginia is a number one seed. And that is they have destroyed teams that are very, very good throughout the season quite handily. 8.5 is not a big deal to them. I'm going with Virginia minus the 8.5 as today's best bet in the Sweet 16. All right. Good luck, everyone, today. We'll see you again soon.